Hey there. Welcome to Rise Above Noise. Each week here in the Rise Above Noise community, I have an honor of shining a spotlight on somebody in our community who is making a real difference, helping others in their business growth. So if you and I haven't met yet, let me introduce myself. My name is Susan Finn. I am a digital marketing strategist, have been with my company Rise Above Noise for the past 15 years, where I get to work with transformation creators. That means I get to work with energy healers, light workers, coaches, creatives, teachers, to guide them in their own personal roadmap on their digital marketing journey. Together, we create a sustainable system so that you can show up in a way that feels generous and so that you feel in service. And that means you're going to show up with more consistency to help people actually find you and experience the transformation that you promise. So your business is going to grow, but it's going to grow with flow and ease. In today's conversation with Christina, she's going to talk about the 3 secrets of getting great clients by being you. And she uses a really unique system to do that. And I asked Christina to speak with us today because honestly, now more than ever, we need you as transformation creators to show up. If you're spreading a message of positivity, if you're healing, then we need you. The world needs you, and we need you now more than ever. So show up and show what's possible and change the world in your own way. I hope you enjoy this conversation with Christina. We've caught Christina today in her apartment, not swimming in the icy ocean. She'll be doing that tomorrow. I mean, let's just talk about that for a second. Like, what is that? Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's something that I started doing last June. So I and believe me, June was hard because I was not used to even 60-degree water, right? Yesterday it was 40 degrees. So like it was a social club over the summer. We go Wednesday, Friday. It was started by a woman named Cayenne, just coincidentally.
Whoa.
And she was a cancer survivor, and this is one of her health strategies. So, I've had other people say, hey, we should go cold dipping. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a nice idea, but I'll never do it. And then when you meet a cancer survivor, you're like, she's doing it. I'm doing it. So we started off, when I started, there were like 5 of us, maybe 6. There are now 30 regular people who show up.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
there's swag. There's all, like, I could talk your ear off about it. I have a beanie that I earned. I have a towel. Like, we've been in the newspaper twice. It's been fun.
I mean, first of all, you're challenging your body. Second of all, you're creating community and you're supporting somebody in need. Like, it's hard, right? It's hard for any of us. It's hard for me to put on my boots and go out and feed my chickens. Like, just knowing that if I don't do that, they're going to die. But in this case, it's not that. I know, I forget the name of the author who wrote that whole book about the cold water baths and the cold showers.
Is it Wim Hof?
Yes.
That guy? He's like the dude.
The dude.
The cold dude. Yeah.
Yeah. This guy, Jeff, that I'm in a group with, he does the ice bath or the cold shower every day as part of his challenge. Anyway, so I'm super excited for us to talk today. Hold on, I have to stop pinning this one. To talk today around the idea of being yourself, right? And what you're saying here is you're challenging yourself. You heard of this, and you went out and there was a need. And I wanted to first get started by, let's see if I can do this. All right, I'm not sure how this shows up. Be patient, guys, figuring this out. Here we go. knowing that I was talking to Christina today, it was like there's so much synchronicity anyway. So first of all, I want to just point out that Christina just mentioned her friend was named Cayenne, and I was telling her that I was feeling a little sloggy today, so I put some extra cayenne pepper into my coffee to kind of get me talking. So it's working. I can't stop talking. I was on a call the other day, a webinar with Brendan Bouchard, who is an influencer pro through Kajabi, and what he said so aligned with me and with the work that I do. And it was great that I knew Christina was coming here today to talk a similar topic. And that was, he said, look, our world needs us. Our world needs us to show up. And he said, if you're in the business, or if the work that you do or how you show up, even if it's not in business, is spreading a message of positivity, if the work that you do helps other people transform into a better version of themselves, whether it's through health or productivity or relationships, we as a world need you more than ever to show up, right? Like people are feeling discouraged. We need to show up as our best selves and to show what's really possible, to make sure that we can change the world in our own way. And when we can use our knowledge to do that, we can challenge ourselves, like Christina's saying, she challenged herself. So to go to the next level and feel that joy and to bring in high performance habits that we can keep making ourselves better and pass that along. And it's priorities and it's accountability and it's tracking results. So those are the things that we work on in the Rise Together Circle, the membership subscription model, to work on priorities, accountability, and tracking results so that every week you're taking the small steps that move yourself forward, right? And so with that, what Brendan was talking about, and I love the way he called it content rhythm. I call it a commitment to consistent and generous content. He calls it content rhythm. What are you doing on a weekly basis that puts yourself, your content out into the world so that people can consume it and do better because of it? And it's this consistency and the specificity of your message that's going to increase the conversion. So he says, set a rhythm that keeps you going all year long. You're basically saying, look, hey, you guys out there, if I'm your person, if you're having a problem that I can solve, I'm going to show you how to solve or achieve these things little by little by little. And so with the work I do, it's collecting email addresses so that you can serve them through email marketing. There are a million ways to do it. I can speak on many of them, but I have planted my flag on email marketing because it has the biggest return on investment for my clients. And because I have control enthusiasm personally, I like that I can control the message that goes out through email marketing. And I like that I can control the analytics and I can control who reads it, or at least who receives it. Whether or not they read it is a whole other thing. Let's talk about subject lines another time. So the fact is that when you're speaking, and I'm really looking forward to Christina talking about being you, when you speak, there's so many people out there speaking, but you need to show up and say, hey, you guys, not only do I know my stuff, I know you and the problems you're having. I know you and the aspirations that you have, and I can help you with that. And so in order to do that, there's the lead generator that I talk about quite often. There's the automated email sequence that you can create or have somebody create for it, or take my course and get it done. Whatever it is, make sure that you have a lead generator, get people on your email list, and then have this content rhythm. Have some way of creating weekly content. This series that I'm doing, interviewing people, is my it's a commitment to consistent and generous content, but it's also, it's what brings me joy. And it's easy for me because I love shining the spotlight on other people. So that was kind of like setting up for today. I think we'll have a great conversation about it. What I want to do now is introduce my friend, my guest, Christina Frei, and I'm going to read her official bio. So Christina is a branding and marketing expert. She's a marketing consultant, an author, and creator of the Generosity Practice Mindset Work and the Innate Marketing Genius Tools and Method. She helps brilliant, mission-based entrepreneurs look smart and get hired. And in between that, she's chasing her dog around with a stuffed animal snake, meditates on a pink couch, and obsesses over the perfect cup of green tea in a seaside town north of Boston. And since most of us, I think, listening right now might be from the Massachusetts area, I will tell you she's from beautiful Marblehead, Massachusetts. And Christina, when I asked Christina, she's going to talk about the 3 secrets of getting great clients by being you. Oh, I lost my, hold on. I asked Christina, what is your superpower? And I love this. And let's use this as our jumping off point. You answered that sensing alignment is your superpower, Christina. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. So a lot of times when and thank you for having me. It's really nice.
Glad you're here.
Let's party. So there's something that happens, like there's language that we use because we want to be a certain way. Like we can say, wow, I really am all about, having impact and being authentic. And this is the way I want to do that. And we make all kinds of proclamations for our marketing, for ourselves, for a lot of different areas. And then there's the real truth of it. Like, where is your actual mojo, or what is your truth in the moment, or what needs to be said in this current time? Like, we all have these ideas about where we should be, where we want to be. And then there's just a deeper reality that you need to be heading towards. And I just really tune myself to that. Like, it's the engine of any marketing strategy. It's the engine of everything I do. And I know I'm talking in very broad language, but yeah, it's just, you just know it when you feel it. And it just seems like it saves a lot of time, to be honest, about when you're aligned and when you're not. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's actually the hardest thing, but yeah, I'll just start with that.
So this is your superpower. You sense it. And then I know that you have tools to help people understand that, right? I'd love to give you the opportunity to talk about your innate marketing genius and your archetypes.
Sure. So I remember watching somebody give a talk about insurance one time. This was about 6 years ago. And I'm personally not interested in insurance. And this gentleman talked about auto insurance, not health insurance, but like homeowners insurance and a couple other property related insurances. And typically I would be ready for my next nap. And yet I was riveted to what he was saying. And it wasn't a long talk, but like, I just was wondering the whole time, why is it that I can talk to this particular person, discuss this topic that I typically find really dull? What is going on with that? Like, there's something that is deeper than just, I'm not interested in insurance and he's talking about insurance. Like, that's the logical level, right? But then there's this like deeper level. And when I worked with him, I discovered he's a steady presence. And these are, archetypes that I've discovered in my travels. And a steady presence is someone that you just lean on them for deep expertise, deep resources, deep network of people. And it's just so satisfying to watch someone who's like that. Their deepest why, by the way, is just to assure people they have what they need to move forward. And you can feel that when they're geeking out in public about something that they know about and they can help you with. It's that alone is it's magnetizing, even more than like the magnetic quality of that, the compelling quality of that is bigger than my boredom for the actual topic at hand. And so that just to kind of lead in, like, that's the impact of a marketing archetype or an innate marketing genius. So what that means is there are 5 categories I've identified. There are nurturers, adventure guides, door openers, steady presences, and celebrators. And each of those indicate what your why is in service to other humans. That's past all your expertise, like what your actual profession is. It's sort of that, why would I work with this healer versus that healer. A lot of times it comes down to that why. So I know that I think you're a nurturer. I'm a nurturer. Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm a nurturer with a side of door opener.
Same. Yep.
Yeah. So, and I think I'll just leave it at that. Those are the categories.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about nurture and door opener.
Sure.
I think a lot of the people that I end up serving are probably similar, right? Because they are transformation creators and they're kind of helping people, holding them in a container of support as they open the doors to the possibilities, I would imagine. Let's talk about that.
For sure. And the thing, just to really break it down, like if you are a nurturer, the dead giveaway is that, instead of being exhausted by trying to bring sanctuary to a situation, you find it life-giving. And sometimes there are issues with boundaries, but still. So it's like, oh, you mean I'm the one who's supposed to like create a sacred space or whatever? Like if you're totally into that, you're a nurturer. Because like already you're feeling the potential. Ooh, if I bring that, then they'll be able to, and then fill in the blank. They'll be able to explore their spiritual truth, or, maybe, you don't have to be a spiritual person. It could be as simple as like, well, what kind of health insurance do you need right now? Let me make it safe for you to contemplate that. So that's a nurture. And your deepest why is to make it safe for other people to thrive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then the door opener is dead giveaway. You have like a gajillion ideas and it's tough sometimes to focus. Like you're a fantastic problem solver and you're super passionate about just opening doors of perception so people don't get stuck in rigidity. I find that this is unbelievably helpful now. I find that there's like an urgency to keep multidimensionalizing so that we don't get into weird things when we're in fear, like the weird things of over control, whether it's government systems, whatever. I just find that starts happening when people are in fear. So door openers, if you're a door opener, like I can't even say how thankful I am that there's people out there that thrive on making sure we keep looking at things from other angles. So I just wanted like define that to start the conversation. Yeah.
So I love these all. And I know that people can learn more about those. You have a quiz, right? So it's an assessment on the Innate Marketing Genius, innatemarketinggenius.com. And I'll share that in our show notes and everything. So when we're talking about the topic, let's say today, 3 secrets of getting great clients by being you. So we kind of figure out where one of these marketing archetypes and, oh yeah, that really resonates with me. And how do we, once we know that, right? How does the marketing become simple? And like you said, life-giving and sustainable. Like it's sometimes, right? Like people, you say marketing and I know that people have a physical reaction, right? They have right? I say email marketing and I know that people just want to leave for a second and catch their breath, right? There's some kind of a tenseness of it. So I love the way that you're presenting it where it's more open when you get to have this sustainability because of the joy. So I'd love for you to get into that a little bit more.
Well, okay. So to be clear about the 3 secrets, so marketing can be simple. That's number 1. And by the way, these are all on my homepage. I like to lead with these guys because it's like, really, marketing can be simple. Mm-hmm. So that's number 1. Marketing can change lives. In fact, it needs to change lives because if you're a professional who is doing that in your work, then you need to be doing it in your marketing. Show us what you got. Right. And then it can be life-giving, fun, and sustainable. Hey, if it could be, wouldn't that be amazing? Right. So I just want to lay out those are the 3 secrets. So just to start with that. And then as far as, how this relates to archetypes, one of the things that I do with my clients is I identify their deeper archetype. Like if, I just worked with a client on Thursday and it was a 90-minute guided journey where you really find yourself, and especially in relation to how you love serving others, right? So it's this beautiful journey. It's like, it's such a wonderful thing to see somebody go through it. And then at the end of it, you have your real unique, like, who are you? What's your archetype? It's from doing 40 of these in a row that I discovered those 5 categories, but that doesn't change the fact that you've got like a really unique, deeper archetype. So when you find that out, it's much easier then to then translate that into a message. So for example, there's an archetype of, let's see, I'm trying to think of like a deeper, there's somebody that I worked with that's like a, what do you call it? A master of ceremonies, right? That's a type of celebrator, by the way. And a master of ceremonies message is always going to be about like, let's blow things up. You know, life can be grand. Like we are going to have so much fun, but like big, right? Not just a cute celebrator, but like taking it all the way. And so that's going to be the messaging for that archetype. And then the strategy is so much easier to choose too. Because if, again, master of ceremonies, you think about it, like they bring people together, they highlight people, they, you know, if there's going to be an event, it's going to be, you know, taking it up 10 notches. So like, you know, hopefully post-pandemic, this will happen quickly. They need to be doing events, period, end of story. And then we like get those foundational messaging and strategies out of the way, and then you can sink your teeth in and like show yourself at your best with your community, have the biggest impact, have fun doing it. Like, that's what I mean. Like you get in touch with that deep why, like, oh my God, master of ceremonies. My favorite thing in life is to get people connecting with each other and then taking the whole thing up 10 notches, you know, and just have the greatest time ever and celebrate each other. That's a very particular kind of celebrator that has a very particular kind of message and a way to get it out there. That's like, everybody has that.
Yes. I mean, you just make it seem so much more fun. So, and again, the work that I do, right, helping people with email marketing or giving them, you know, a community with accountability and ways to grow. When people come into this community or come to within Rise Above Noise and have this clarity that you're offering, they're going to soar, right? I feel like people really get bogged down in that. Even my own self, I've been doing this work 15 years, really kind of digging into it the past 10 years. And I would say it took me a few years. Like if I had had your insights earlier, I wouldn't have wasted time going after this, that, and the other thing. That it takes a lot. And even when I've worked with people, just let's say on an email, on an automated sequence, they're not clear yet. And so when they can do the work you do, so that's on my end. But let's say that somebody comes to you and they're like, go through your process and they understand, I'm a celebrator, I'm a door opener, I'm a nurturer, I'm an adventurer. And now you've worked on, I'm imagining, the language that goes with that, the kind of projects they should create in order to support their growth. And then they go out in the world and they create their content based on that. Like, does that ever feel like a threshold that they have to get out of, that they have to go over because now they understand it all and now they have to go do it?
Yeah. I mean, half of my work is to help people develop decent habits. Right. So it's not just, oh my gosh, I should be doing a podcast and I should be doing this kind of podcast. And, you know, this is the kind of message I want people to get from doing that, right? Like all those intricacies. But then there's well, what's your rhythm? And do you know how to sound edit yet? And like, it's all the physical, tangible things that are going to happen on a weekly basis. That is literally half my job. Is, you know, it's the exciting moment is determining it all. And then it's like, oh, you know, wow, this is so great. I can't wait. And then there's taking it out to the world. So that's why I work with people over 4 months to make sure that we have 2.5 solid months for them to be hashing it out, figuring out their core content. Like I'm their copywriter during that time. So if they need that, they can lean on me for that. But yeah, that's no joke. We all have nice ideas. It's another thing to take it on the road.
Amen to that. Yes. So that's good to know that you support them with that.
Yep. Yeah, I do the inner and outer. I call it the inner game of marketing and the outer game of marketing.
Yes.
Both.
Yeah, because again, I know that there's a light, like there's even something I'm working on right now, and I'm just like, haven't pulled the trigger yet because I'm like, what if nobody likes it? And I mean, I love the tech, so that part is not, well, I say that I love the tech, so it's not that, that's not my holdup, which it is for a lot of people, and that's what I support them in. But more than that, I know the tech too well, so that when I'm like, oh, I'll just go in and make that event. Oh, I should probably do this, that, and this, right? Like now I'm making all the automations, and now like what I thought was going to take me 10 minutes, just throw it up on a page. Now I've got it on Eventbrite and Alignable, and I'm sending it to, different groups and different publications. So it's just a lot. I should have kept it simple is probably where I should have been. Like if I had known less, I would have kept it more simple, but.
Yeah, and I want to say something about the simple part. So I've just shared how you can get simple, like how you can make the decisions more easily if you know what your archetype is. I also want to say that simplicity, it doesn't mean, okay, what I translate that to specifically is like one strategy, one strong strategy that you can sink your teeth into and achieve mastery such that people trust you, they refer you, they want to do business with you, right? You have to stay consistent. You're also going to be generating a decent amount of core content. I call it core content because you can use it in multiple ways in whatever channels you want. That is the signature of a really good, juicy core strategy. That's what I mean by simple. And it doesn't mean you're going to be doing it forever as the only thing, right? Like, let's say you're doing podcasts for a while, or I'll just speak to myself for a second. I do talks, and I've done talks forever. And it's just, I have a community now of people who want me to give talks. I don't have to work that much on booking them. I also know the content that I have. Yes, I do rejigger it pretty often, but it's easy for me. So I don't need to treat that the way that I did when I first started. I can probably take on something else, which I do. I just revamped my whole website. I'm now doing a bunch of SEO powered articles this year, right? Like my point is give yourself a shot at like mastering whatever you're going to do, and make sure you choose a strategy that shows you at your best in your community.
That was so perfect. I'm gonna have to transcribe. That was awesome. Is there anything else you want? So let me think. Here it is. You guys, Christina has an awesome book, The Generosity Practice.
Okay, I am totally going to screenshot you for a second. Hold on. Thank you.
And it's wonderful. I mean, what can be better than showing up consistently and with generosity? I mean, I think that's why you and I align so well.
I will say something. I know we're like totally out of time, but I will say that I developed that stuff not because, oh, I want to be a generous person. I developed it because I was in a financial crisis transition and couldn't think straight and couldn't sleep. And I had something like that happen to me, in the early 2000s, and it basically tanked my health for years. And I was like, screw this. I need to find a tool that's going to get, and I had this in my back pocket because I had studied psychic tools in the early 2000s, but I never really put it to use, taught it, like really embraced it. And so I'm like, well, I'm screwed unless I use it. So I'm going to use it for all it's worth. And it brought me a lot of good stuff. I talk about that in the book. So I started teaching it, and it's just all about how much you love being a contribution in the world. That's what it comes down to.
Right, which is we need more of you in the world, and we need more people out there practicing generosity in the world. All right, I'm going to share your website one more time. It's ChristinaFrei.com. Frei is F-R-E-I. Go to her website, her brand new website, developed by my friend Donato and Garrett D'Andrea of what does it? Start Competing, Compete Now. And you can go to her website. You can take the assessment, the Innate Marketing Genius, and she also has a free mini course on there as well. Highly recommend that. Is there anything else people should know about how they can get in touch with you or work with you, Christina?
You pretty much said it. Christina Frei, or even Innate Marketing Genius, since we've said that so many times, innatemarketinggenius.com. It all goes to the same place.
They go to the same place.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. You guys, if you have any questions, hop in the group. Christine is an active part of the Rise Above Noise group, or you can send either of us any questions. And if you're curious about either the automated email welcome series course/workshop, you can get it. You can like buy the course and then do the homework and then show up for a half-day workshop and have your automated sequence done. I know if many people have that kind of on their to-do list for this year. Let me help you get that done. In fact, it's riseabovenoise.com/done is the URL for that. And if you're interested in the Rise Together Circle for accountability, productivity, and learning masterclasses, let's have a conversation to see if you're a good fit for that as well. With that, we both have 10 o'clock. So we're going to sign off here. I want to thank you, Christina, for being here. Let me just check real quickly, see if there are any questions in here. Kathleen says, good morning. And I think that's about it. It's early on a Thursday morning. People are getting their work done. They'll listen and ask later. All right, Christina, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, there you have it. Christina shared her 3 secrets of getting great clients by being you. And if you got anything out of our conversation, I'm hoping that what you got out of it was that now more than ever, it's important for you to show up for the people who you can help. Our world needs you. Our world needs you to show up and offer these transformations to the people who need it, and they're not going to find you if you're aggressively humble. So show up, find a way to have that commitment to consistent content. Now, when you know what your message is, when you know what your archetype is, when you know what your who your ideal client is, of course, it's going to be much easier. But whatever it is, don't let anything hold you back. Go out there, shine your light, and just make those changes. I invite you to hop on a discovery call with me. Let's talk about where you're at and how I might help you on your journey so that you can help more people. All right, until next time, I wish you a wonderful day.